Conscience is often called God's voice inside us. It tells us to do what is right and avoid what is wrong. Even Cain, who lived long before Moses received the Ten Commandments, knew in his conscience that killing his brother was evil. When someone is tempted to steal, they may feel an inner warning saying, "Do not steal. Stealing is wrong and offends God." That inner warning is conscience. Besides believing what God has told us, we must obey His law. Jesus said, "If thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments." Matt 19:17. God's law includes both natural law and revealed law. Natural law is written by God in the hearts and minds of all people. It teaches basic moral rules, such as honoring God, treating others the way we want to be treated, avoiding harm to ourselves, and being truthful and honest. Natural law is God's will, and we must obey it. For example, a child or a person who has never heard of the Ten Commandments still feels guilty when doing something wrong. This is because God has placed natural law in every human heart. Besides natural law, there is revealed law, mainly the Ten Commandments and the two commandments of love. Revealed law repeats and expands the natural law. Jesus did not cancel the Ten Commandments, instead, He strengthened them. He said, "If you love me, keep my commandments," John chapter 14 verse 15. And St. John wrote, "He who says that he knows Him, and does not keep His commandments, is a liar." 1 John chapter 2 verses 3-4. We understand God's law through our intellect and conscience. God's will becomes known to us through our reason. Conscience is the way God's will becomes known to us through our reason and judgment. Conscience is called the voice of reason, or the voice of God, because it tells us to do good and avoid evil. Cain knew it was wrong to kill Abel, even before God gave the commandments to Moses. Even today, people in places that have never heard of the commandments still know right from wrong because of their conscience. St. Paul said that non-Jews show the work of the law written in their hearts. Their conscience bears witness to them. Rom. 2:14-15. If we always obey our conscience, we will not offend God. Conscience guides us based on what we know from natural or revealed law. Before we act, conscience tells us whether something is right or wrong. After we act, it gives us either peace or discomfort depending on whether we listen to it. For example, if someone is tempted to steal, they may hear an inner voice saying, "Do not steal." That inner voice is conscience. Conscience reminds us that God is our lawgiver and judge. Conscience is mistaken when someone thinks something good is bad, or something bad is good. A mistaken conscience comes from ignorance or poor understanding. If someone truly does not know better, God does not hold them responsible for the wrong they do. Their conscience is false, but they are not guilty if they lack knowledge. For example, a child might tell a lie to protect a younger sibling because he thinks protecting his brother is more important than telling the truth. His conscience is mistaken, so he does not sin. But everyone must learn what is right so they can form a correct conscience. If someone with a mistaken conscience believes something is wrong but does it anyway, he sins, because he chooses to go against what he believes is right. For example, a man believes God forbids playing the lottery. If he plays anyway, he sins, because he disobeys his conscience. A doubtful conscience is when a person is unsure if something is right or wrong. We should not act when our conscience is doubtful. We should wait until we can learn the truth. If someone must act and cannot wait, he should decide that if he knew the act was wrong, he would avoid it. If he acts with this good intention, he does not sin even if the act turns out to be wrong. A scrupulous conscience is an unhealthy conscience that sees sin where there is none. A scrupulous person treats temptations as if they were sins. This leads to unnecessary worry and shows a lack of trust in God's goodness. Such a person may feel guilty even when they did not choose the temptation at all. The opposite of a scrupulous conscience is a lax conscience. A lax person thinks sin does not matter because people are weak. He excuses everything with, "To err is human." A lax conscience ignores small sins and even treats serious sins as unimportant. Over time, this person loses any sense of guilt and becomes a habitual sinner. We then say he has no conscience. A tender conscience avoids even the slightest wrong. We should try hard to keep our conscience tender. It is dangerous to live as if we had no conscience. A tender conscience avoids shame and guilt because it stays close to God, who gives peace and hope. A tender conscience is the kind the saints had. It is the kind every good Christian should develop, so they avoid anything that displeases God, even in small matters.